So what's up guys, so today we're going to be finishing up the rear of the CRX. So we're going to be finishing up the tie-in brackets for the rear strut tower to the rear subframe, and also prepping the rear for the start of the rail cage. So let's get to work. So I made these up yesterday on the plasma cutter, which basically this will weld up to the subframe. And then this will do, I'll cut a hole in the floor pan, weld the floor pan to this guy, and then the roll cage will tie into the top right here. So I'm gonna get this all set up, and then we'll weld these to the subframe, and then we'll cut a hole in the floor pan, and we'll go from there. Okay, so where are we at? So I hole sawed 2 holes. Subframe tie-in plate welds to both body and subframe. I'm just gonna go over here because then sway bar ties into this guy and this guy. So I'm gonna weld this guy up there like that. Boom. Same with he goes up there too. So I'm gonna weld those 2 guys. So what we're going to be doing right now is cutting the strut tower tie-in bracket that ties in the subframe and the roll cage together. So what does that look like? Well, it looks like this. So right here. So these relief cuts are so that I could bend them. Bottom section, bottom ears right here are for the bar that's going to connect the subframe, the rear subframe, to the strut tower. And here's where the roll cage is going to tie in, and here's where it all ties into the strut tower. So there's the relief cut there for and the 2 bolt holes there. So I'm going to be I have it all set up here. I'm going to be using this 3/16 plate. So I'm going to set this up and we'll get cutting. So here I have the first side kind of bent up, and I need to weld these all the reliefs. But here it is. So this bottom section, this is where the subframe is going to where we tie into the subframe from down there. So that plate right there is this plate right here. So it's going to land on the top. It's on the top of this guy, and this guy ties into the subframe. So that way our subframe ties into the strut tower. Right here, boom, boom. This is all going to get welded up right there. So we're going to weld this, all this. This is all going to be part of the strut tower, and then from these tabs, it's going to shoot over to the top to right about right here where I'm pointing, where the main hoop, the B pillar, is going to be. So it's going to shoot a tube down here, and another opposite. Same thing's going to happen on this strut tower. It's going to shoot from here all the way up to that main hoop. Same thing, I'm going to have brackets here that come up. It's going to tie in. Same exact thing that's on this end here. And that ties the rear subframe in. And sway bar can be installed after that. Anyway, so that's where we're at. I need to make another one of those guys. I think I'm just going to weld the tie-in tabs here and here. That way I could finalize the bottom of the subframe and I could go ahead and paint it. That's the last thing I'm waiting for, so I'll probably go ahead and do that. Let's try this again. That one sucked. I'm gonna try another one right next to it. I fucked up. I set it too low, so it lost the art. So I'm gonna try this one again. This one should be good. So my brackets that come off the strut tower, that's all going to be welded up right there. It's all going to be part of the strut tower. It's not going to be removable. Right here. These guys are welded in. And then there we have a 1" by 120 wall tube with a 3/4 inch heim joint. That's going to bolt from there to there. Stiffen that, and then from there to there, same thing. And then from this guy, it's gonna come all the way up to the roll cage. Same thing. This guy's, and it's so the way I have it. So we're creating triangulation right there, and same thing with the roll cage. Everything's triangulated. Everything's tied into the unibody, the structural portions of the unibody. Except for these general regions, they are welded into the subframe, and the reason I'm doing this is, because there's very little reinforcement. I'm expecting a lot of that rear subframe down there. That's why I plated it, I gusseted it, and then I tied these brackets into it. But yeah. So that's the end of today's episode. So stay tuned for the next episode that I'll be dropping, where we take on the roll cage for the CRX. If you like what we saw, go ahead and hit that subscription button and hit that like button. Drop any comments if you have any comments. They're greatly appreciated. If you have any advice or concerns or just any questions in general, go ahead and drop them in that little comment section. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and see you on the next one, fools.